Okay, in this sample we're going to learn how to create an articulation configuration on components that were just imported. So this little clamp was imported via Parasolid file. If we go and look at the assembly, for example, it's just a bunch of imported parts. There's no history for it. Okay? So to do this, here's what we're going to do. Go to the Assembly pull-down menu, define component, and define articulation configuration. And I'm just going to call this clamp. Now, first thing we want to do is we want to define the rigid sets. So for example, I'm going to take that nut, right-click, say Make Rigid, and I'm going to add to it this element, because that's going to be fixed elements. I'm going to go find that and say Make Rigid, add to it that. And now I'm going to make manual mates here. So I'm going to say Insert, and I'm going to go ahead and spin this around and say that I want to rotate about that and that. So there I'm just doing an axis-on-axis mate. I also want to flip this over and say take that and that, say OK. And we're going to take that to that, say OK. And that to that, say OK. So now I have all my axis-on-axis mates. Now I'm just going to apply a couple more. So I'm going to say I want to take that face to that face as a mate, and that face to that face as a mate. And like that, now we're ready. So I'll hit stop. I'm going to hit save, and now I have another document already created that just has a simple little test part, and I'm going to include this part. So I'll just drop it in here. I'm going to grab that face, put it in my hole. Maybe I'll invert it. I'll say OK. Grab that face, maybe to there. Oops, grabbed the wrong face. My bad. There to there. And then just to lock it all in, maybe I'll say take this face to there. Okay? Now, because of the articulation configuration, when I go to move, I can show this in its open or closed state.